When I tell you I haven't been so hyped yet hesitant to read a chapter in a while, I'll tell you this is definitely one of those times. I know we didn't take any L's in the colonies, but Gege, come on. I didn't ask for Choso to possibly be the first casualty on our side. I don't know what's going to happen after this fight, but all I know is the Choso stocks are about to go down because my brother, he might be gone by the end of this arc, bro. Before we get into the fight, which, spoiler alert, it was really damn good. There was another reveal in the beginning of the chapter, and that is Kenjaku apparently does have a domain expansion. I originally didn't think he'd have one because Geto didn't have one, but he had the maximum technique in exchange. But domain expansion is the pinnacle of sorcery, so Kenjaku in hindsight would kind of need one considering how wise he is about sorcerers and techniques. Flashback to Choso, Yuki, and Tengen talking. They go over their plan of Choso being the vanguard and fighting Kenjaku alone to see the rest of Kenjaku's techniques and other cursed spirits, and if possible force him to use his domain expansion, so his curse technique will be hindered in advance. And Yuki at the right time will ambush Kenjaku and help Choso. Yuki warns Choso twice in this conversation that he will die fighting him alone, but it doesn't matter to him as long as Kenjaku dies. It's fine with him. He's doing it for his mother and his brothers, and this fight is indeed one of the more personal battles between two people that we've had in a while. In this Kenjaku versus Choso battle, I was very impressed by Kenjaku's reflexes more than anything. From the moment Piercing Blood launched, Kenjaku slips and dodges while also launching a cursed spirit at Choso. Choso says, "You're underestimating me too much," and Kenny responds with, "Do I?" Great double page, by the way. I love these spreads. Kenjaku grabs a piece of the ground, throws it as a diversion for the cursed spirits that are coming from behind it. Choso counters a supernova, and Kenjaku gets in close on Choso's blind spot. Kenjaku blocks it and hits Choso with the left. Choso backs off of Kenjaku with another supernova. It was a great exchange sequence right there. And to me, this is where things get really interesting because Kenjaku's son Yuji is involved in this. And Choso wants to know what Kenjaku plans to do with him in the future. But Kenjaku says that thing, he's talking about technically, his child, that thing has already served its purpose as the vessel, which I always kind of felt that Kenjaku doesn't really view Yuji as an important, necessary part of his plan. But if anything, he's keeping Sukuna at bay and is simply like a component to make sure his plan follows through. And as long as he's alive, the cycle of curses will continue and he'll be the eye of the storm for the new era. And they continue to fight. Choso yells, "You're the misfortune of all this," and Yuji isn't. And this is where Kenjaku just violates Choso. "You thought I didn't know your plan was to make me use my curse technique more and reveal what I can really do. But like I said, my son, you are purely fodder and I will use low-grade cursed spirits on you because you're all just failures." While he repeatedly just stomps on Choso's head like a bug, Kenjaku's trash talk is actually something we need to admire because I gotta say, he's backed up what he's been saying. Then Choso grabs Kenjaku's leg to throw him off, but Kenjaku launches the same weird kind of like tentacle or centipede creature that he used against Yuji at the end of Shibuya on Choso, doing significant damage. I don't know what that is. I kind of wish we had like a name or something, but clearly it's very powerful. And honestly, my favorite information review was Kenjaku speaking about what a sorcerer being special grade means. And he says it's the ability to single-handedly overthrow a country. Gojo qualifies. Geto's cursed spirit manipulation alone qualifies because a group of low-grade curses can take a grade 1 similar to Choso out. Now imagine just a group of grade 1 level curses and above could do. I'll let you think about that. And just looking at Choso right now after that attack, he's definitely taking real bad damage. And I don't know if it's just me, but this kind of parallel how Ryu looked after Yuta reversed his attack on him. I don't know if that's supposed to be like another Kenjaku Yuta parallel. I could be reaching. Yuki is still waiting on something even after that powerful attack on Choso. Meanwhile, we the fans are just yelling at the screen to get her ass up and help that man. But Choso is having like an inner monologue right now. He feels he failed as an older brother, protecting my brothers, bearing their burdens, becoming their role model. That's what it means to him to be a Oni-chan. I'm not fascinating at all. Even facing this piece of shit father, I can't land a single hit on him. But he couldn't take Kenjaku saying his brothers are not fascinating. So he calls on his death painting brothers, as Kenjaku is a little surprised actually by this, and asks for them to lend him their strength in this battle. And that's where the chapter cuts off, and sadly we gotta wait another week to see what the hell's about to happen. And let's go ahead and just get right into the discussion, because there's a couple things I wanna tackle from this. So already just letting you know, this is a really good fight, really entertaining for what it is right now, even though it is only a one chapter in. And even though it's only one-sided, I actually just really like what's happening on page. And kind of ironic how, fun fact, I'm catching up on Hunter x Hunter as we speak. And I have read the Chrollo versus Hisoka fight for the first time, and that's one of the best like one-sided fights I've ever read. And seeing this as a one-sided fight was just kind of cool. But I want to just talk about right now Kenjaku's viewpoint of Yuji, and kind of just mainly that term of he's the eye of the storm for the new era. I was more so wondering, like, what would he mean by that? Because when I think of like a new era and who would be kind of like that Kickstarter or that leader, first thing that comes to mind would be like a Yuta or like an Akari or something like that. But I feel like he said Yuji for the simple fact is like, well, for one, Yuji's born different. He's technically half curse, half human. So I wonder if that's what he's talking about, or is he possibly foreshadowing, something revolving around Yuji's like mentality? Is that going to change, and that's where it's going to kick off? Or maybe he's just talking about Sukuna, and whenever Yuji gets Sukuna's technique, that's when we're really seeing, how strong Yuji really is when he actually starts to manifest Sukuna's abilities. It could be something like that, especially when he said that the cycle of curses really won't end because of Sukuna being in him, because he is the vessel. I feel like also that was actually pretty good foreshadowing, because that's already letting us know, even though we already knew since the series started that Sukuna was going to be the end game villain, this pretty much lets us know that Sukuna is the be-all, end-all when it comes to curses. If you can get rid of him, you can pretty much get rid of any other curse that has been around. And because of that, I'm just really looking forward to, because I need Gate to eventually go back to Yuji, because I want to see more of what's going on with him in that group. And there's still just so much about Yuji's character. We as the fan base just want to know and just see. So it's kind of just more so to me foreshadowing for what's to come later in the coming games. Now we know Yuki. She's waiting for Kenjaku to reveal something, and with Choso getting, I guess, some type of like, I don't want to say power boost, but this like second coming of just power, just getting that adrenaline pumping, and he's definitely going to try even harder than he was before. Could we see his domain, Kenjaku's domain? I don't know, because I feel like Kenjaku's too smart to waste a domain when he probably knows that Yuki is still around here somewhere. I feel like that'd be really stupid of him to do something like that, and I doubt he'd be able to do two in like a span of a couple hours. I just don't see that being the smart thing for him, unless he's got like an old school domain, which even then, I don't know if that really fits with his curse spirit manipulation. So it's just a lot to think about. So I feel like if anything, Kenjaku might reveal another technique that he might have manifested, because we know when he absorbed Mahito, he got idle transfiguration. He might have another one like in his arsenal that we just don't know about, and maybe that's what she's waiting for. Plus, with him saying he's only going to use low-grade curses against Choso, I feel like it wouldn't be smart if he knows he doesn't need to just bring out like a grade one or like a one of those curse spirits that he kind of hides. I feel like that Kenjaku to me comes off as just too wise and smart to do something like that, especially when it comes with a risk. And if he doesn't know what Choso is gonna do, I feel like he would just kind of like keep steady and just finish him off. I don't think he'd be someone who just let me just use my strongest attack or one of my strongest right now. That's just me on the whole Yuki waiting thing. And last is Choso metaphorically calling for his brother's strength, like kind of like a spiritual thing, or is he actually manifesting something from them? Could it be their cursed energy? I've seen someone say like their cursed technique, but that kind of wouldn't make sense to me, because they all have some type of blood manipulation. Even though I know Esso and Kechiju's were different, they were still revolved around blood. So that's kind of, I feel like it might be a cursed energy thing. He might be getting like another burst of it or something like that. I don't know if he's able to control theirs because he's the older brother, because we remember he was able to feel and know when Eso and Kenjaku were like hurt or they were in pain, or you know, when they died. He felt it. So I wonder if he can be able to channel something from his other brothers and, you know, get some type of curse energy boost. That's all my thoughts and ideas I kind of wanted to tackle in this chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. I know some people want to hear the rank or whatever, but I give it like a solid 8.5 out of 10. Really good overall chapter, and I can't wait for next week. You know, I feel like next week is gonna be one of those big turning point chapters in terms of like this little sequence right here. So let me know in the comment section down below how you felt about all of this. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.